company started in 1992.
Yeah, so we're, Brayco, that's the name of the company. We specialize in pipe, steel pipe and structural steel, mostly heavy industrial. So we work in a lot of terminals, refinery type environments, chemical plants, wastewater plants, things like that. We That's how we got our start, was really in that the oil and gas field, and that still is our core. We work for a lot of the terminals in New Jersey and even some in the tri-state. So that's our core business, and we are an industrial contractor, a general contractor. So we will also handle A to Z, the whole job, and our core specialty is really that pipe and structural steel.
And you guys are just, where do you guys work out? Jersey or all over the country?
So we have a office in Cream Ridge and a fabrication shop in Cream Ridge, New Jersey. It's right down the street from Great Adventure. That's always a good landmark that people know. So right kind of in the middle of the state. And we have a big fabrication shop there. And we also have a location in Linden, New Jersey. And we do small work out of Linden, but it's more just a satellite location that's closer to the job sites. So we'll keep some job materials there. We store some equipment there. But for the most part, everything is done out of that Cream Ridge location.
And you guys focus on the tri-state area, or where's most of your business?
Yeah, I mean, we mainly work out of New Jersey. We will travel for some of our key customers. So we'll go down to, say, Maryland. We've been in Virginia, Pennsylvania. We try to avoid New York, but sometimes we end up in New York, Connecticut. So, yeah,
And how many employees do you currently have?
we typically run around 30. Yeah, so plus or minus 30, that's usually where we're at.
And how do you keep track of everything? There's a CRM, accounting, bookkeeping.
So we use a software called Airtable, which I don't know if you've heard of Airtable or. Okay, basically it's a really high-powered Excel. That's the best way to think about it. But the capabilities are almost endless in the way of building your own system. So we've built our own custom system with Airtable that tracks pretty much everything you could track. I mean, it tracks all of our employees, payroll, PTO. It tracks all of our project expenses, our forecasting, project materials, you name it. We use it for pretty much everything to run the business with. So that's what we use right now. So how does it work for us?
How do you market? How do you get new customers?
How do we get new customers? Okay, so well, it's funny you ask, right? Because our core business is all repeat customers. So
Okay.
we have, let's say, about eight or nine customers that we work for throughout the year. And majority of our revenue comes from those key customers. And it's typically in the oil and gas space. Recently, we have been making a lot of strides towards improving our sales and marketing. So we have been working with some sales consultant, a marketing consultant that we brought in that we're working with to try to start going after more of that private business that's out there that we're not a piece of. So in the oil and gas in New Jersey, we have a pretty good handle on. I don't think there's a lot of room for growth there. So we're starting to look more outside of there at manufacturing, chemical plants, pharmaceutical, private water companies, power companies. So keeping to that heavy industrial, but we realize there's a lot of private companies out there that don't even know who we are, don't even know we exist. So we're just trying to make that marketing effort to start to get more leads in and get in front of more people, get the name out there more. So that's one thing that we have been actively working on this year. Build any kind of infrastructure that they need. So they say they're putting a new, I don't know, assembly line in or a new machinery that they're going to use to build out something. We would be the company that can construct that. We would do the concrete work, the pipe work, the rigging. So we would be the company that can help them to build what they need to build.
And what is it? I mean, how long have you worked with the marketing companies? Recently, or
Yeah, and this has been a recent push. Within the last few months is when we've really started digging in hard on the sales and marketing. Until that point, we've had zero sales and marketing function. It's
all?
just, yeah, I mean, it's been word of mouth and just people that I know, and just that's about it. So this is a new thing for us trying to work on sales and marketing. It's just something that the company's never had anything established in.
So did you work on a budget for that yet? Like where you're willing to spend monthly to get the customers you want?
Honestly, not really. No, it's more like finding out what it's going to cost me like within the next 3 to 4 months. Like I know what the fees are, so I know what that's going to cost, right? And I'm looking at it as more like a launching point, and I know what that cost is, and I'm like, okay, I can afford this, and I'm going to use that and launch from there. So
Gotcha.
right now I'm really looking at it as again like a launch pad. Like we're starting at ground zero. So I've used consultants to kind of help us start from the ground up to build something so that we can maintain it as a company ourselves.
Makes sense. 'Cause you guys have like a it's a niche, but like what's the customer worth for you because you have a range of things. 'Cause the project can be any size, right? And it could be it's relatively small to really big, I
We'll
imagine.
we'll do projects as small as a couple $1,000. So
Really?
yeah, like if somebody comes to us and says, "Hey, we need this custom bracket fabricated," absolutely, we'll send it out to the shop and we'll get you a price. And we'll do our largest project was over 5 million. So we'll make you a custom bracket versus do a whole project that's 5 million and anything in between.
So
Big
it's a little
span.
more difficult just for the marketing budget because one customer could be really small and one could be
Yeah, so
really
one of our
huge.
one of our kind of jokes is one of the guys here brought up. He says when we're talking to potential customers, we say, "Well, what do you do first, and then we'll tell you what we do." The reason for that is because, like, say if it's another general contractor, well, we will absolutely work for another general contractor as doing pipe, steel, or fabrication.
Yeah, we do care, right?
So we don't care. So there's a chance that we can be competing with that person on another job. But it doesn't
Right.
matter. Like if they need something made out of metal, we'll be happy to give them a price for it. And there are cases where we have worked for competitors. So because we have that specialty and niche of pipe and steel, we've had a competitor come to us and say, "Hey, we need this steel made. Can you guys give us a price?" Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we do care. And then so how big is the company? Like gross not profit, but gross income to
Last year was about 12 million.
and what's your goal for the next 12 months?
Well, goal is a little different from what reality is going to be now that we're already in May.
Let's go with 12 months goal.
So yeah, so I'll tell you. So our goal for this year was 14 million to expand upon. We've been trying to grow, right? We were at 12 last year, so we're like, all right, our goal is going to be 14 to show continued growth. A little bit of a stretch goal, but that was our goal, right? 14 million.
You go from 12 to 14.
Yeah. So, being that it's May already, I can tell you that this is one of the slowest years we've had that I can remember. So, yeah, so we still have core guys on layoff that we're trying to get back to work. And for some reason, it's just been a really slow year for us. I don't think the winter helped. It was a really bad winter. And, it's May. My heat is still on in the house. So,
Wild.
yeah, so that doesn't help. That definitely doesn't help. The construction industry doesn't do us any favors in that business. But even beyond that, I'm not sure what the low, like why it's causing this low period. And a lot of construction companies I talk to that we work with are all in similar situation where we're just slow right now. Yeah, yeah. For some reason, everything's just kind of slow on the construction side, at least for industrial.
So I guess I could answer this, but the next 36 months goal. I guess it's the same thing, get to 14 million over the next 36 months.
There's at this point in the game, the chances of us hitting that are not great. Heck, like I said, we're already in our fifth month, right? So I don't see us hitting that. Honestly, 36 months, I still that 14 million would be a good goal.
I do. I think
Yeah,
if it turns around, when it turns around, because that was not.
yeah.
So you'd be able to get that. Now I know we spoke about this. So the the Airtable has AI, I guess, built into it. Is that what you're talking about when we spoke on the phone?
It does. Yeah, Airtable has like a lot of AI capabilities. We use it outside of Airtable as well, but we use it in Airtable also. So there's a lot of AI functionality that's been built into it over the last few months.
And what do you use outside the Airtable AI?
I mean, right now the top one is Claude. We've been using Claude regularly. We're using Claude Cowork. We've developed Claude to do a lot of different skills for estimating and just on the project side, reading through specs. So we've all have kind of been training Claude to do things the way we want it to do it. And like I mentioned, co-work. So it's starting to do a lot of Excel work for us. So we're using that, and then of course just data review and just another person to talk to that's not a real person. So yeah.
Now, if you could make anything you want, tool-wise, would it be anything you think of that you thought in your head that, yeah, I wish I could put all this together, do it for you, work better?
So yeah, there's always things that comes to mind, but as soon as they come to mind, we act on it and we think like, okay, let can we get AI to do this for us? So we're constantly developing stuff with just using Claude and Gemini. Sometimes it'll just be prompts. We'll create like a 3-page prompt that we just copy and paste into either Gemini or Claude on a task that we want it to start doing for us. So yeah, I mean, really, as we come across things, we're like, man, I wish something was built for this. We just go ahead and do it. And we just try to build it ourselves, and it's just crazy the capabilities. Because now, I mean, you just go to Claude and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Tell me how to tell you to do it, and it'll just tell you. It'll say, yeah, here's your prompt, do this, and it's like, okay. So it's amazing.
Now, you said for invoices and proposals, they go through, I guess, Airtable, and it automatically makes them for you.
Yes. So our invoices, this is actually one you talk about like building a bigger project of something that I would like to do. We are a little spread out. So we have QuickBooks that runs, what QuickBooks does, right? But everything else goes through Airtable and those two don't talk to one another. So that bothers me, but QuickBooks doesn't have the capabilities that you would really need it to have. We would have to switch to something with a little bit more power to it. Like right now, we just use a QuickTops desktop version, and that's it. So in our future, I could definitely see us switching to a little bit more of a robust financial system. But for right now, it works. So really, all of our company finance are all tracked through Airtable, and the bookkeeping is done on a very simplistic, non-project cash business. So, but yeah, so Airtable invoices will get emailed to accounts payable at Brayco Inc. That's the company's domain, and it'll funnel into Airtable automatically. And then Airtable will read that invoice and assign it to what project it belongs to, what vendor it belongs to, and it funnels just into a table, into a master table that can be filtered however you want it to be.
Does it make the quote actually? Does it use like all the parameters they have? Does it actually make the proposal for the customer, or you have to actually manually do
Okay, so yeah, we're talking two different things, but invoices into us, that goes into Airtable.
it?
All right, so proposals out from us.
Yeah, it goes out to
Yeah,
yeah.
we do not, we do that still manually. And I don't really see that changing right now because basically we write the scopes in there, and every job's a little different. So I don't see how AI could do that because it's really us like writing out the specific scope of that job. We have a lot of template language that we'll pull in, but yeah,
You don't.
we still manually. I mean, the template and everything's there, so all we're doing is just really typing out the scope, and like, the template's already there. So we're just plugging in that scope, and then it, generates it.
So as far as using AI in other ways, pretty much as soon as you think of it, you try it and see if it works. But your dream is to have the Airtable work with finance.
Yeah, yeah. And even, I love Airtable and it's got so much capability, but I do wonder in the future as we grow if we would have to switch to more of like a NetSuite or a Sage or like a big platform like that
Yeah,
that is all in. Because right now, like I
yeah,
said, Airtable is outside of the true finances of the company. I mean, it's pretty accurate. It's as accurate as you can get it. But the fact that it's not tied to our actual financials, that bothers me a little. So
is
yeah.
anything we're running like what's that running really expensive?
I missed you a little bit there, but say the expensive Airtable. Oh, okay. It's not crazy. It's a couple $1,000s a year. So that's it. Yeah. No. Nope. Yeah. I mean, like, and if I wanted to switch to Netflix or NetSuites or something, it's like $12,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's it's real expensive.
Yeah.
I was on a podcast with the guy who owns Gold Post Cattle. He actually invested in the company. They spent $2,500 a month for their software, and it does like
Yeah.
all kinds of.
Yeah, some of them get crazy.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because it takes phone calls, it sets service appointments up, keep track of what his doing with us. He wanted us to design an app for him that allows the um, employees to clock in and out verbally and give them a heads up of what time they should leave for work with traffic and weather.
yeah.
And that was one of his asks as far as
So I mean that brings up one other thought. So our foreman, we have foreman logs that funnel into Airtable, and we have to use a third party app for that. It's not JotForm. I can't think of it. It's a form company. So they have to fill it out on the form company, which funnels as far as the user knows, it's all through Airtable, but we're actually having to use an outside web application or whatever for the forms. Uh,
for the stock.
No, it's not a sign in, sign out. Like I said, from the user side, they just think it's all through Airtable, but we are using an outside application to bring in functionality because Airtable doesn't have that functionality. So yeah, or if it would be better if it was all one rather than having to rely on another app, you know. So I mean, it works seamlessly, but I don't know. It's just like you have to belong to this thing, and then you got to belong to this. It's like even Zapier.
What is the
So we use,
what is the
so we have to
yeah,
use
Zapier.
Zapier. We have like a few zaps that have to run in order for everything to work. So I do have to rely on others outside of Airtable, which again, they work seamlessly, but I think of that, I'm like, why can't Airtable just do all that?
And I guess every time you add something to the Airtable, I guess the price changes. Like it's like Salesforce, you add the different modules they charge you for them. Is that how that works?
No, I mean they have not really. They have different levels that give you access to different things, but there's not
Okay.
there's not like yeah, there's not like add-on modules that you're paying for now. It's just different levels of access.
Yeah,
So
no, like Salesforce, you're the one that the big bucks that we keep adding stuff. So we keep adding modules and stuff
yeah,
to
we
it.
actually we actually just started messing around with HubSpot.
Okay.
So that was recommended to us by the marketing company, and right now I just have a free version of it, and we're just starting to dabble into HubSpot and see what it does and what it offers.
If you just look close on the past, it's not bad. So you want to use that for like to keep the sales all together, I guess, for a sales team? Do you have a sales team?
No,
Not really, right?
no, no, we don't have a sales team. Nope. Nope.
No.
You're looking at it.
Here's
So
sales team.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the sales team. I'm the marketing team too. So
Sales
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we'll see as we build out here, may make sense to bring somebody in. And I have thought about
yeah,
that.
you
I've even talked to potential people before. Um, but also I don't want to hire anybody until I'm ready. So I can't just be like, here, go sell my company, like without giving them anything.
yeah,
Part of
you really got to
is
build different.
Yeah, part of it is just building that.
Yeah, do all the sales, put everything in place for the guy that just do it. Because if you do, you're kind of waste money on paying the sales guy to kind of learn along with you. Yeah, never bad. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to add or talk about, or company anything you want to add to the end of the podcast here?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I kind of mentioned it, but I think the hardest thing for us on like the growth is just getting in front of the right people. And that's sales and marketing. Since we've never done it before, it's new to us, and just getting that figured out, it's tricky. And a lot of our customers, they're big companies. We're heavy industrial. So even the business to business, like there's not that many businesses that need our type of services.
Makes sense. Is there like a bread and butter, like easy style that you could like, so the whole run? Is there something in the middle where more people could use it, or you kind of go after them? You say, okay, well, let's go after these people.
I
I
don't
could take.
Honestly, I don't know. Is there something that people need that I can't think of that I could build? Probably. So a lot of times, like our shop is slow. To give you an example, our shop is slow right now. We have a steel fabrication shop. We could build anything made out of metal. We can build. So is there a need out there for something that we could fabricate to keep the shop busy that we could sell? Yeah, probably. There's probably something out there. We come up with different ideas over the years, but it's tough market to just to invent something or build something. It's a tough market, you know. So we've had ideas like even the idea of like let's build dumpsters. So we go online, we look at what it costs to buy a dumpster. I can't compete with what it costs to buy a dumpster. You know what I mean? So we look at situations like that, or one a fun one. We're like, what about making grills and or like fire pits, right? Like that sounds fun. But then you figure out the cost. It's like, well, if somebody's willing to buy like a $4,000 fire pit, yeah, I think there's a market. Otherwise, you go to Walmart and buy one for $30.
No,
So it,
you can't compete with that,
yeah,
right? You can't be
yeah,
with the mass production stuff. You can't
exactly,
do.
exactly.
So
So
there's got to be something small that you could do that it's very difficult. Because
exactly
I actually met up with a guy in Pennsylvania. He does fabrication, and he has this interesting niche. So he builds parts of the I guess the casing that Intel uses to make the chips. So all those parts that make the housing, he makes those.
crazy, crazy.
It's not all of it. It's only like the door, some other things. But he's been doing it for like 20 years,
Yeah,
and that's all they do. And he has like he he bought a machine to help him like do stuff faster. But the finishing stuff, the machine can't do it to meet the specs that Intel wants.
yep.
It has to do by hand. Even if like your nail was on the steel, it fails.
Wow.
It's like really like crazy. We have like people that do it just by like finish it by hand,
Yeah,
and then those go out the door.
that's crazy,
It's wild. I
crazy.
mean, but that's such a small niche, but no one else can do it. Even if other guys try to knock it off to try to like hire like not hire build machines and AI machines and stuff, none of it could do it. It all failed. All the spec tests from Intel. Then holy crap, this is interesting.
Yeah,
That's like his main. He does other stuff that you guys do, like other steel stuff, and but this is like his core business. That's all he does for like two chip manufacturers. Just the doors, and they don't use it once. They said it's so corrosive that after that one chip is made, they just throw it out.
that's crazy.
He build like 40,000 pieces of these of the same thing every year.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild.
It's wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
like that kind
I
of.
always say the people like I hear the way people make money. It just blows my mind sometimes. But
And then
it's
the other guy in Pennsylvania, he makes parts for the Black Hawk helicopter for the government. And that's his niche. Only pieces, little pieces of it, like things you didn't even know about.
I know,
Like he like 4 or 5 tiny pieces to the whole freaking thing. That's all he does for the
and he
government.
make
That's his whole.
and he makes a killing.
This is it. And his dad started like 1970.
I
He's
know.
been making these parts like, forever for the government, and it's like so regulated. He doesn't know what they go to, obviously, what the parts they are. But they just tell me this, and this. He makes them, and then that's his whole business. I mean, it's a big company. It's got like a 50,000 square foot building with a bunch of employees making like parts for the Black Hawk helicopter, little pieces of it. He doesn't know. He can't know where it goes or what it does, but that it can be anything.
It's wild. Yeah, wild.
Is that nuts?
I know. Yeah, it's always interesting.
You gotta find something small niche no one
I
has, and you
know.
guys make it for yourself.
I know.
And then
Yeah.
that's your bread and butter.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's always wild hearing what some people do and how some people make money. It's just it's crazy.
You would never know to be existed. Like
No.
that's a thing. Pieces of the door that makes the chips. Why do you think that's a real thing? I had no idea that actually was a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So what I'll do is I'll edit the video. I'll send it over to you so you can see what it looks like. And then if there's anything we can help you with, I'll run it through the AI tool and see if there's anything that pops up that might be able to help you guys marketing wise and to see what you do. Awesome. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks. Have a good day.